This video explains data dependencies between rules. A data dependency is the term we use to describe when the output data of one rule is used as the input data for another. This is visually represented through a dashed green line from the output data port of one rule to the input data port of another. A green output data port appears on the right side of a rule that produces the data, and the input data port appears on the left side of any rule that consumes it. Like execution links, you can toggle visibility to isolate just the data dependencies for one rule, or hide and show the data dependency links for all rules. The data dependencies can be viewed using the link view or in the input data section of the target rule. This input data section of a rule shows the sources of data inputs for a rule. Input data can be sourced from another rule, from a data source, such as a price data rule, from strategy configuration, or simply entered manually. To view all available output data from a given rule, navigate to the Output Data section in the rule configuration. The output fields are accessible to other rules and follow a strict typing format. This means that only outputs of compatible types, such as quote prices, currency amounts, or a list of trade IDs, can be used as inputs where those types are required. For a more detailed explanation of data types and the rules we provide to convert between numbers into a specific data type, see our video on data types and conversion rules. In this example, we will connect the candle close price output data field from the price data rule to the source input data field of the moving average rule. Some rules require more than just the most recent output data value to perform their calculations. The moving average needs a historical window of 13 data values, referred to as the look-back period, to compute the moving average output. All the necessary historical look-back data required from the price data rule will be fetched automatically before the strategy starts to ensure the moving average rule can compute a valid output from its very first execution. This process is referred to as seeding. Seeding is not performed on data sources configured for seconds or tick-level data, as the seed data required would likely be out of date once a strategy has been deployed. A key point to note is that data dependencies do not implicitly trigger a rule to execute. Remember the simple principle. If a rule has a red execution port but does not have a red execution link, then it will not execute. The rule that passes data to another rule does not have to be the rule that triggers it to execute, but you need to think about when the data required will be updated. The output data values are updated for all rules that use them as input data when the rule that generates the data is executed. This is particularly important in execution conditions that rely on the current values. Those values will reflect the most recent execution of the data source rule, not the time of execution of the rule that is using them. Typically, the rule that generates the data should be positioned before the rules that need the data in the same execution path. In this case, we'll make the price data rule trigger the execution of the moving average rule.